economy even mean?
So an inclusive economy means that everyone in the community, not just folks that are privileged or not just folks that come from prosperity, but that everyone, our most marginalized communities, have access to jobs that are available, have access to training, have access to workforce development so that they can contribute, so that we can uplift our whole community. It's about community building. As we look at neighborhoods, it's about lifting up the whole neighborhood. So as individual community members have access to different opportunities and to employment, they bring that prosperity back to their community, and that community in general as a whole gets lifted up. And that's what we're looking at. That's what we're proposing with our Opportunity Center.
Sure. So tell me more about the Opportunity Center and what it means specifically, first of all, for this neighborhood.
So for this neighborhood, this is a neighborhood that has yet to be served. We have many times, a small community where it can be easily overlooked. And so this community has been lacking in infrastructure, lacking in transportation, lacking in all of the services. So having a community center here, an opportunity center here that brings job training, employment skills, workforce development, as well as those community supports for the neighborhood, not just for our neighborhood, but for all of Sacramento, will actually build up this community. And that's what we're looking at. So those are some of the elements that we're trying to bring with the community, with the Opportunity Center. We are partnering with different entities, so businesses, with training centers, with workforce development, even looking at bringing health industries and distant learning so that all of those services are in one stop, in one area for the community.
And tell me, tell me about this neighborhood. Would you call it like sort of a Franklin corridor, or what's the best way to describe it?
Yeah, so we are on Franklin Boulevard. It is the Franklin corridor. However, it is a very diverse neighborhood, and so just a couple streets over is MLK Boulevard. Just a few streets back is Florin Road. Just a few streets up, we're on Broadway. So it is a gateway to many other neighborhoods. It's easily accessible, and so that's why we feel this is a perfect location for this program, because we serve a broader area, not just Franklin Boulevard.
And anyone can be open to the public, anyone can come access it?
Absolutely. So La Familia serves all of Sacramento County. We do a lot of our services in-home, so we go all over Sacramento County as well as Galt and Walnut Grove. This area here, this program here, will serve all of Sacramento County, and everyone can access it. That's what we're looking at, is being able to have services in a community that is easily accessible. And again, this is a very diverse community. So you have businesses, many ethnic businesses that Franklin Boulevard is known for, and we want to build those strengths in our neighborhood here as well.
For people who don't live in a diverse community within Sacramento, and for people who say, I don't understand why these millions of dollars need to support an inclusive economy, kind of break it down. Why is this important for someone who doesn't live here, who's probably not going to come to La Familia, who feels like they've got it all kind of put together elsewhere? Why should they get behind Measure U tax money helping out places like this?
Well, I think we want all of our community members to work. We want all of our community members to have prosperity, right? Because when everyone's working and when everyone is prospering, it really builds up our region in general. So I think that's something that we should all aspire to have, all of our community members have lift up. But also, I think it really does benefit everyone. So we've done some studies, and there's business industries that are looking for employees, and they don't have the skills. Employees don't have the skills. So if we're able to provide those skills, businesses, not just in this area, throughout our Sacramento, our region, will be able to benefit because they'll have employees. And we will benefit from that because we'll have industries that we're able to go to as well. I think it's important for us to realize that a lot of the industries that we're wanting to train people in are industries that we're trying to recruit businesses into our region. And if those businesses come to our region, then it builds up that prosperity for everyone that lives in our area. We're looking at healthcare industries. So healthcare industry, we all access healthcare industry regardless of where we live, right? So we need those providers. We need those service providers to be able to support us and help us, at one point or another. So yes, it does benefit everyone.
The lot across the street, where does Measure U fit into making La Familia's impact go even further?
Right. So, we repurposed the school. It's the smallest elementary school that Sac City Unified had when we repurposed it, and we ran out of space almost immediately before we moved in. And so we have been looking at how we can expand our services. Employment services, job training has been a big need that the community's been asking for. So looking at how we can do that within the same footprint of where we're at, this opportunity for a property right across the street from an existing known entity came available. And so we've entered into escrow to purchase that property and to build that community center and that training center. So it will be able to be in an area that is widely known to be, service. The community is already familiar with us. It's just a perfect opportunity for us.
And you said altogether, from buying the property to building the building, you're looking at a $7 million.
Yeah, this is going to be a short and long-term project. So there are some quick wins. We're shovel ready. We're in escrow. We're doing all of the environmental studies. We're developing the conceptual drawings. We're ready to go. So some of those short wins are available to us now. But then there's a longer term. We realize that this might be done in phases. Overall, we'd love to see a beautiful community center at the property site as well. And so it might take us a little bit longer to build all of our dream, and so we'll do it in phases. But we're anticipating this is going to be over a $7 million project. When we look at acquisition of the property, building costs, we want to be able to work with our trade unions, we want to be able to work with apprentices so that we're actually putting young people to work to help us build the center. So hopefully we'll be able to realize some support in that area, but overall this is going to be a $7 million project.
Do you have a hopeful open date for the basic?
Yeah, we're hoping that we break ground. We have to go through obviously the city permit process and everything, and so we're hoping that we can break ground within 9 months. Is our groundbreaking ceremony planned, and then depending on what phase we finish, that we'd like to immediately start. Our plan is that we would start processes as we bring in phases, so we don't want to wait till the end, to be able to start services, because services were needed yesterday. I just kind of want to share that in putting together like a conceptual drawing or a pamphlet for City Council in terms of what the type of jobs that we wanted to train people for, so solar installation, electric vehicle repair, healthcare industry. I looked up, electric vehicle repair, and none of the pictures or the stock photos of people doing electric vehicle repair looked like what these communities look like. And that's a sad statement, because if the industry doesn't see our community as people who can serve their community, who could be their workers, that's a sad story. We want to change that, because we think that this community has the skills to be able to take those jobs, and we know that they can be successful in that if they've given an opportunity, and that's what we're looking to do.
Wow, that's so telling. I'm sure you opened those photos and said, oh my gosh.
It was just, we couldn't believe it. We couldn't even find women in there. When you're looking at pictures of people that are fixing electric vehicles, there were no women, there were no young men of color. It was, it was sad, to be honest with you. It was a very stark reality that, wow, this is really needed. That wasn't something we were prepared for, to be honest with you.
It's so win-win-win. It's so multifaceted. These young people will get the job skills, and the community will benefit by having needed workers, which will, attract those industries. But, but also it's sort of an immediate benefit in that, kids are kept busy and occupied and in positive ways, and thereby reducing, maybe some crime numbers. Not that all idle kids are going to commit crimes, but do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So my background is in juvenile justice, and so I can tell you, when you were talking about how do we know these things work, well, we do know that people who are employed are less likely to commit crimes. We know that young people who have opportunities, who have education, access to education, are less likely to get involved in negative behavior, which includes substance abuse or in criminal activity. So we do know that these do benefit the whole community and that they do work. We know that employment is a very key to helping people move to that next level. So, yes, all of the support systems, and it isn't just the training and the employment, you really have to wrap that around with support systems, which is part of what our service delivery model offers, is that support system, because young people have experienced lots of trauma, and so it isn't about just going to school and I'm offering you this class. It's what are the obstacles that are preventing me and challenging changing me from coming to school today. You know, what's going on at home. And so having those case managers that are able to work with them to kind of, you know, maneuver through those challenges and still get them across that line is important. I, you know, really want to stress that what we're trying to do here is a collaborative. It is not just La Familia, it is bringing in other partners. There are things that we do really well and there are things that other agencies do really well, and we think that when we work together, it actually benefits the community better. And so that's how our Opportunity Center is structured, is to have a community collaborative of other organizations that will be able to join us and provide services. Having business, having training, industry, you know, educational institutions all together under one roof, we think is a really good model for the community.